Welcome friends to the session. In this session, we are going to discuss one of the important feature of the C language, and this feature is being called as a data types in C programming language. In this session, we will understand the concept of data types in C programming language. Also, we will understand what are the limits on the values, maximum and minimum limit on the values of each data type. And also, we will see one example in what way the data type can be used in the C programming language. So as we know that you are observing this session, you are viewing this session on my YouTube channel, Learn with Prakash Khanale. So let us understand first of all what we mean by the concept of data type, or what are the data types in a C programming language. In real life, you will find that the data that we deal with can be of different form. For example, sometimes you will find that the data is in the form of the numbers. Sometimes the data is in the form of the characters. Sometimes we have a huge list of data. So the data that daily we are dealing with can be of different forms. Say for example, this is Aadhaar card. This is an image of Aadhaar card. And all of us have got this Aadhaar card. Now you know that what this Aadhaar card contains. The Aadhaar card contains the name. The name is in the sequence of characters. Then it contains the date of birth. The date of birth is a date which contains the day, month and year. It contains gender, whether you are male or female. It contains one Aadhaar number, and the Aadhaar number is again a numeric number. So you will find that the data elements in the Aadhaar card are of different form. Sometimes you will find that it contains address also, and address again contains some numerical information, as well as it may contain some non-numerical information also. Now it is necessary that we should be in a position to process such data, and the processing of the data has to be done via programs. Now every programming language must provide some facility so that it can accept the data, it can store the data, and it can process the data. Programming languages are there, and by using programming languages we can write programs. We write the program because we want to perform some specific computation, and the specific computation can be achieved when there is a provision of accepting the data, storing the data, and processing the data. So you can say that the programming languages must have a provision of data type. So what we mean by the data type, you can say that the data type of the programming language is a kind of semantics and the characteristics of the storage of the data element. That is, every programming language must provide some means by which the different types of the data can be accessed through the program, can be stored in the memory, and can be further processed whenever required. You can say that as far as the C language is concerned, it has a rich set of data types. So in this session, we will understand what exactly are the different data types that are available in C programming language. Basically, you will find that the data types in C programming language can be classified into three categories. The first one is called as the primitive type or primary type. It is also called as the basic data type. The second one is the derived type. The derived type can be obtained by using the basic data types or primitive data types. And the third category is the user defined type. Now, this is the category where the user or the programmer can define the data type as per the requirement of the program. Now, let us first of all go for the basic data type. You will find that these are the basic data types that are available in C programming language. The first one is the character. Now, you will find that whenever I want to make use of a character data type within a programming language, then you need to make the use of the keyword called as char. So this keyword char will represent the character data type. Another keyword int is used for the integer data type. So character data type is normally used to access the single characters. Integer data type is used to access the integer numbers or whole numbers. And this data type, which is called as a float or double, this data type is used to have an access for fractional numbers. Apart from this, you will find that there is another data type available. It is being called as a void data type. So void means null or nothing. So these data types can be called as the basic data types in C programming language. Now you will find that these basic data types can be explored further, and we get some more data types, and they are called as the derived data types. In the derived data types, again, we have three categories. One is called as the signed data type, another is called as the unsigned data type, and the third one is the long double. And the long double is normally used for accessing very large numbers. Now, the character and integer can be further declared as a signed character or signed integer. So we have basically these four types in the signed category: signed character, then signed short integer, then signed integer, and signed long integer. So these are the categories of data types available under the category of signed derived type. In the unsigned derived type, again, we have the character and integer that can be declared as an unsigned number. Now, if you are sure within your program that you are going to make use of only positive numbers, no negative numbers will be used, in that case, you can make the use of such data type: unsigned character, unsigned short, unsigned integer, and unsigned long number. And apart from this, we have one more derived data type, and that is being called as a long double, where you will find that very large numbers can be stored. Apart from this, we have a third category, and this third category is being called as a user-defined data type. Now, in this category, you will find that the programmer or user will declare its own data type. It can be an array, that is the list of the numbers. It can be a structure, that is a record. It can be a union similar to that of a structure, or it can be a enumeration or enum. Now let us discuss in detail what these data types are and what are their memory storage limits. Now basically we will go for the basic data types or primary data types in C programming language. The first data type is a character data type. You will find that whenever any variable is declared as a character data type, then the compiler will reserve 1 byte of memory for that variable. 1 byte that will stand for 8 bits. And therefore, the size for this data type is of 8 bits. And we know that this can be a positive number or it can be a negative number. Therefore, 1 bit is reserved for the sign. And therefore, the range of the numbers is from -2 raised to 7 to 2 raised to 7 minus 1. That is -128 to 127. This is the range of the numbers for the data type character. Another data type that is being very commonly used while writing the programs is the integer data types. Many times while writing the programs, we need to deal with the integer numbers. you will find that this feature of C programming language, the feature of data types of C programming language is a slightly machine dependent feature. Because when you declare some data type as an integer, you will find that either your machine will reserve 2 bytes or your machine will reserve 4 bytes. That is, if you are using an older version of the machine, say 16-bit machine, then the memory space that is being required for this data type is of 2 bytes only, that is 16 bits. But if you are using a modern machine of 32-bit or 64-bit, then the memory space that will be reserved for this integer data type will be of 4 bytes. 4 bytes means 32 bits. So naturally, the range of the numbers will increase. So the range for the integer data type is from minus 2 raised to 15 to 2 raised to 15 minus 1 if your machine is reserving only 2 bytes or 16 bits. And if your machine is reserving 32 bits, then the range of the numbers get enhanced and it becomes minus 2 raised to 31 to 2 raised to 31 minus 1. That is, a large set of integers can be handled by using this data type. For fractional numbers, there are 2 data types available in C language. The one is called as the float. In case of float, you will find that the size that is being reserved in the memory is of 4 bytes or 32 bits. And therefore, the range of these numbers is much higher, and it is from minus 2 raised to 31 to 2 raised to 31 minus 1. So out of this 32 bits, isn't it, 1 bit will be reserved for the sign, and the remaining rest of the 31 bits can be used for its value. So you will find that the range of the fractional numbers that can be handled by using float are huge. Now we have written this number in the form of E, isn't it, where E will stand for the exponent form. And when we write minus 3.4 E minus 38, it means that this number is minus 3.4 into 10 to the power minus 38. Now, if this range is insufficient for you, then there is another data type provided for dealing with more smaller fractional number or more higher fractional number. And this data type is called as a double data type. The size will be of 8 bytes. When you convert it into bits, it will be of 64 bits. And therefore, the range of the numbers will be from minus 2 raised to 63 to 2 raised to 63 minus 1. That is, the huge set of numbers can be accessed by using this data type. Now, there are certain derived data types in C programming language. Say, for example, we have some data types that are being called as a sign. That is, when you are sure that you are going to make use of some positive or negative numbers, then of course you can make the use of this signed data type. And there is some set of numbers that is being called as unsigned numbers. That is, when you are sure that you are going to make use of only positive numbers, in that case, you can prefer these unsigned data types. In signed data types, we have signed character. You will find that the size will remain the same as that of the basic data type. That is 1 byte or 8 bits. And the range will also remain the same. In case of signed short, again, the size remains the same. That is of 2 bytes, isn't it? And the size in the bits will be of 16 bits, and therefore the range will also remain the same. In case of signed integer, you will find that there will be a size of 4 bytes, that is 32 bits, and therefore the range will get enhanced. In case of signed long, you will find that the size is further enhanced to the 8 bytes, that is of 64 bits, and therefore the range of the numbers is also enhanced. Now, if you are sure that you are dealing with only positive numbers, then you can make the use of unsigned data types. So for example, if you use unsigned character, then the size will remain the same of that of basic character data type, that is 1 byte or 8 bits. But since these are only positive numbers, the range will get doubled. And now the range will be from 0 to 255. In case of unsigned short, you will find that the size will remain the same, isn't it? But the range will get enhanced because we are dealing with only positive numbers and there is no provision of dealing with negative numbers. Therefore, the range will be from 0 to 65535. In case of unsigned integer, again, the size remains the same, either 2 or 4 bytes, and correspondingly, you will find that the range will also get enhanced. In case of unsigned long number, the size will be of 8 bytes or 64 bits, and the range will be much higher, that is from 0 to 2 raised to 64 minus 1. In case of long double, again, you will find that the size will be a machine dependent feature. Sometimes you will get this size for your machine as 10 bytes minimum, isn't it? But if your machine is advanced one, then you may get it either 12 or 16 bytes. Accordingly, the size in the bits will also increase, and it will be either 80 bits or 96 bits or 128 bits. And accordingly, you will find that the huge number can be accessed by using such data type. Many times you will find that the people are not satisfied, or sometimes it is not good to use only the basic data types or derived data types. And therefore, the people need to define their data types on their own while writing the programs. In C, it is possible that a user can define its own data type. The first such data type is called as an array, where array will stand for the collection of similar data elements or homogeneous data elements. Say, for example, when you are collecting only numbers, isn't it? Then integer numbers, then that can be an array. Or if you are collecting only fractional numbers, then that can be an array. If you are collecting only names, then that can be an array. So an array is a user-defined data type where all the elements will be of similar type or same data type. The advantage of using array is that one array variable can store the multiple data values. Say, for example, you are dealing with marks of the students, and suppose in a class there are 100 students, and suppose every student is appearing for say 5 subjects. Now this is a huge database, and you will find that assigning a value, a separate variable for each value will be a difficult task, because you will require many more variables in the same program. This problem can be avoided by using an array within a program. There is another user-defined data type, and that is being called as a structure. Now, structure means the collection of non-similar data elements. That is the data elements which are not homogeneous, which are non-homogeneous. Say, for example, one data element is the name, another data element is the number, the third data element is the fractional number. Now, when you have such type of the record with you, then that data can be dealt with by a user-defined data type called as a structure. So you can say that the structure is a kind of a composite data type. In C, we can easily deal with such data type by declaring it as a structure. Union is another user-defined data type. Union is very similar to that of a structure, but the only difference is that you will find that in union, all the values are stored in the same memory location. Say, for example, if you are having 3 values, then the value which requires the highest memory location will be the size of the union, and you will find that one value will be stored at a time. So memory optimization can be achieved by using union. Apart from this, you will find that there is another user-defined data type called as the enum or enumeration. Now this data type is used to assign names to the integral constants. Say, for example, suppose in a program, you need to require a data type called as a month. Now you will find that in C, there is no such data type available. And the values of this month can be say January, February, March, April, or May. Now, in such a case, if you need your own data type called as a month, then that can be declared as a enum or enumeration. Enum is a keyword, and by using this keyword, we can define our own data type, and this can be the values for this data type. Now, let us see one simple program in which we will see how the data type can be accessed within a C program. Now, this is the first line of the program where we have included the file standard input output header file stdio.h. We need to include this file within our program because we are making the use of a printf statement in the main function, and this printf statement is defined in this file, and therefore the compiler must know it, and therefore this file, header file, is being included in the initial link section. Now, this is our main program, main function. This main function is having the name main, and its return type is of integer. Now, the code of the main function is written within the curly brackets. Now, suppose I am using 4 variables A, B, C, and D. The first variable A is of integer data type. The second variable B is of long data type. The third variable C is a character variable, and the fourth variable D is again a long double variable. Now, in this program, what I am doing is that I am determining the size of each data type, integer, long, character, and double. To determine the size of each data type, I am making the use of one operator here, and this operator is being called as a size of operator. So this is a unary operator, and whatever you write in its argument, then the space required for this argument or the memory location size will be returned by this operator, size of operator. Now, in the first line, what we are determining is the size of A, and simply we are displaying this size in terms of the bytes. Similarly, we determine the size of B, that is long data type, then size of C, that is character data type, and finally we are determining the size of D. And since our main function, main program is of integer data type, finally we are returning a 0 value to it. Now, as I told you that you need to type this program by using any text editor. If you are available, if you are having a C compiler with your computer system, then using editor you can type the program and you can compile the program. If you do not have any C compiler with you, then as I told you earlier, that you can Google for online C compiler, and when you get an access to the online C compiler, then in one window there will be a text window, editor window, where you can type the content of this program, and then there will be a execute button, and by execute button you can execute the program. While typing the program, you need to type it very carefully. Don't forget anything, or don't make any changes on your own. You will find that everything, whatever written, has to be typed correctly. Even if you forget semicolon or this curly bracket, then you may get error. So when you type the program and when you execute it, isn't it, you may find the output like this. Now, for my computer system, the size of the integer is not of 2 bytes, it is 4 bytes because it is a 64-bit computer system. The size of the long is 8 byte. The size of the character is 1 byte, and the size of the long double is 16 bytes. So hopefully, I think you have understood the concept of the data types in C programming language. And in the coming sessions, we will discuss some other capabilities of the C programming language. So thank you for watching this presentation on my YouTube channel. Thank you all.